What's up, everybody, and welcome back to VHS Tacos with another excellent edition of This Is Actually Good, I Swear, Please Don't Leave. We're still in the spooky month of October. This week's awesome title is 2019's Hellboy, starring David Harbour in a pretty sick, double-sided steelbook. Now that you guys are done throwing up out of every open hole in your body, let me tell you why this movie's actually not that bad. It's a lot of fun. It knows how dumb it is. So, give you a bit of a plot breakdown. You have an opening that takes place back in the time of King Arthur. They've killed this ancient evil witch named Nimue, played by Mila Jovovich. Cut her up, box up her body parts, spread it around. Flash forward, present day, her body parts are in the process of being collected so she can be put back together. So, she can bring literal hell on earth. But of course, you have Hellboy, who will not stand for such things. So he teams up with Ben, played by Daniel Day Kim, and eventually Alice, played by Sasha Lane, to help bring down the big bad. The good. The acting in this movie is solid. You have Sasha Lane as Alice, Daniel Day Kim as Ben, David Harbour as Hellboy, and Ian McShane as Professor Broom, and they're all really good. Everybody has great chemistry with everybody else. All of these characters feel lived in. The back and forth, the dialogue, that's all there. It all flows so well. They trade barbs, they trade jokes and laughs, and everybody seems to be having a good time, which translates. Obviously, the big standout being David Harbour as Hellboy, and he does a great job. He does a great job with the dialogue. He does a great job at emoting through all of the prosthetics and the makeup. He does a great job with the action scenes, and some of them are pretty intensive. There's one particular action scene that takes place in the English countryside where he is tasked to help out with getting rid of these giant troll-like creatures. And it's one long take, it's one long cut that's set to some like heavy metal rock music, and it's so cool. It's so kinetic, it's so fast-paced, it's really well done. Some of it's played for laughs, some of it's a little tense. They did a really good job with that. And then the pacing, which we talked about a little bit with that scene. The pacing in this movie, it's so rapid fire, so quick. It almost feels like as soon as the movie starts, it's done, it's over, and the credits are going. It's a very fast movie, which is a good thing, because now we're going to start talking about the bad. This is a very packed to the brim movie with subplots. You've got the main plot, which is stopping Nimue, but I hope you guys have some pen and paper, because here we go. You have your first subplot, which deals with Hellboy and Alice's backstory and relationship. You have the second subplot, which deals with Ben's moral dilemma of whether or not he should kill Hellboy. You have the third subplot, which is Nimue trying to get Hellboy on her side. You have the fourth subplot, which is Hellboy discovering that he is a descendant of King Arthur himself. You have the fifth subplot, which deals with Baba Yaga, which helps set up future movies, which obviously aren't happening. That's 5 subplots. There's too much going on in this movie. And to make matters worse, this movie has multiple cliffhanger end credit scenes. You have the first one dealing with Abe Sapien, setting up, obviously, him being introduced in the sequel, which never happened. The second one, which deals with Baba Yaga recruiting Rasputin to take care of Hellboy. And then you have the third subplot dealing with a very fantastic cameo from Thomas Hayden Church as Nazi hunter Lobster Johnson, which kind of deals with the notion that Hellboy's father may not actually be dead. You have 5 subplots and 3 end credit scenes. People, too much going on. Another big glaring issue are the visual effects. There are some visual effects in this movie which look dated, like early 2000s, and it's hard to look at sometimes. Which is funny, because then you'll have some scenes, like one in particular, with Hellboy at the end of the movie coming out of this busted-in tomb underneath of a church, and he has this giant flaming broadsword, He has his flaming crown, which you can't see on here. He has giant horns. And the visual effects on this scene are awesome. They are incredible. They look great. But then you have visual effects, like when he's fighting those giant troll beasties over in England. They're just bad. And the fact that that scene takes place out in the middle of the day and all of that daylight shining on him, it doesn't help. It does not help one single bit, which is very unfortunate. Lastly, and this might be tied for the biggest issue that this movie has, the villain, Nimue, played by Mila Jovovich. She does nothing. She doesn't do anything. She waxes lyrical about how she has been wronged, how she is going to bring down hell on earth, how Hellboy needs to be by her side, yada yada yada. There's no oomph to her character. There's no reason why we should really fear her other than her getting other things to do her bidding. She's not a good villain, and she's given little to nothing to work with. They could have replaced her with some kind of cosmic entity, like the Galactus cloud, and it'd have the same effect. You wouldn't even know or care about it. It's such a shame, because they really could have done something cool with that. Hellboy 2019 with David Harbour is not a bad movie. It's an overstuffed movie. It has far too much going on in the service of setting up sequels, much like last week's The Mummy. I had a blast watching it. It's a good time. It's fun. It's funny. There's some suspenseful moments in there. There's some real cool action beats, especially towards the end. You feel like they really got more creative with their action the closer it got to the ending. It's a good time. Now, I'm not saying it's going to win over everyone, because it's still not a perfect movie, but it's decent. So, as per usual, your movie recommendation for the week, Hellboy 2019 with David Harbour. Hit me up down there in the comments below. Let me know what you think. If you guys had a chance to check out the movie, let me know. We can discuss it. We can have a good time. And as per usual, make sure you like, make sure you subscribe. Check us out on YouTube, because you're already here. Check us out on Twitter. Check us out on Instagram. We'd love to talk to you guys. Love to strike up a conversation. And if there's anything that you guys can think of that you'd like to see us do next, once again, let us know down below. And until next time, guys, this is VHS Tacos signing off. Adios.